Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we are completely reframing how you think about digital transformation. We're going to just go ahead and toss out all those shiny tech buzzwords right now. We really need to move past treating this as just some cool new IT project and recognize it for what it truly is. It's an urgent, high-stakes boardroom survival strategy. We're going to dive deep into the actual friction, the human element, and the real-world execution of massive organizational change. Because in today's world, having digital alternatives, well, it's simply non-negotiable. So let's jump right into this existential threat. Think about the severe challenges faced by legacy retailers when you compare them against the incredibly lean, lower-cost value proposition of digital natives. We've literally seen this play out in real time in the retail industry, right? Legacy enterprises like Kmart or even an absolute giant like Walmart suddenly found themselves severely challenged by Amazon. And why? Because the customer is getting a value proposition from those digital natives that is just, well, it's an order of magnitude superior. It's lower cost, it's way more convenient, and the customer service is better. Basically, if you're a legacy enterprise and you don't shape up to meet this new standard, you are staring down your own extinction. All right, here is our blueprint for today. We've got succeed or perish, the customer comes first, leadership in silos, the execution playbook, and finally, enabling technologies. Starting off with part 1, succeed or perish. This is all about completely rewiring your business from the inside out.
You see, digital transformation has a very distinct dual nature. It's kind of like a two-sided coin. It's definitely not just a cosmetic external facelift. Yes, you have the customer-facing side, which is all about providing those new, slick tech channels for engagement and sales. But honestly, equally important is the internal side. You have to aggressively digitize and automate your internal processes to substantially cut costs and reduce response times. This dual nature is the whole secret sauce. You are dramatically improving access for your customers out front, while simultaneously stripping out the heavy costs of delivery in the back.
Moving on to part 2, strategy. The customer comes first.
If you really want to survive this, you have to stop looking at the tech for a second and critically ask yourself, who is your customer now? How are their needs fundamentally changing in this crazy, volatile market? And what brand new value proposition do you have to offer them just to stay in the game? Digital transformation absolutely does not start with buying new software. It starts with knowing your customer on a deep, almost uncomfortable level. Technology is just the enabler, not the goal itself.
Let's look at how this actually plays out in the real world. Historically, if you look at the investment management industry, they sold products through intermediaries, human advisors. But then, the digital economy exploded and caused a massive tectonic shift. Suddenly, firms were perfectly able to completely bypass those traditional advisors and sell directly to the consumer. The entire focus of the industry shifted overnight from managing intermediary relationships to personalizing direct one-on-one engagement. That is the kind of profound foundational business model shift we are talking about here.
Which brings us to part 3, leadership and breaking down silos. Because this is where things usually get messy. Listen to this quote because it perfectly captures the human friction of change. One person trying to lead an enterprise's digital transformation is a recipe for disaster. It's an incredibly awkward problem inside most legacy organizations. I mean, who actually leads this? Is it the CEO, the CMO, the CIO? Some companies try to slap a Band-Aid on it by creating a chief digital officer role. But actually, because the CIO and CMO still hold their traditional power, this new CDO role usually ends up being totally superficial. They have no real empowerment. True digitization cuts across marketing, tech, operations, and finance. It has to be completely all-pervasive, which means your culture has to shift.
So how do you actually break down those stubborn legacy silos? You have to steal a page right out of the playbook of digital natives like Google, Facebook, and Amazon. They don't have one single superhero executive leading a sweeping transformation. Instead, they use a product-based structure. The entire company is organized cross-functionally around solving specific customer problems, rather than sitting in isolated departments. At Google, you literally have hundreds of product managers leading highly specific initiatives. But to make this work, those leaders need two absolutely crucial things: deep customer insight and the managerial chops to bridge both technology and business. They have to speak both languages fluently.
All right, part 4, the execution playbook. Let's get into a concrete, phase-by-phase framework.
These 5 actionable steps provide a really grounded framework. And remember, the focus here is always on the tangible business outcome. Step 1, understand exactly how your industry value chain is changing, so you don't get totally left behind. Step 2, and this is absolutely vital, anchor everything in business KPIs. If you aren't tying your complex tech rollouts directly to metrics like revenue growth or retention, you are going to lose focus.
guaranteed. Step 3, leverage data. It's the absolute secret sauce for personalizing what you offer. Step 4, reorganize into those cross-functional structures we just talked about to unlock actual speed. And step 5, adopt a two-speed strategy.
I want to double-click on that fifth step for a second, because this is where so many smart companies fall right into a massive trap. If you attempt a big bang effort, trying to launch a massive, entirely pervasive digital project across the whole organization all at once, your chances of failure are incredibly high. It is just way too much organizational shock and risk. To guarantee operational scalability without a total catastrophic failure, legacy businesses have to execute a pragmatic two-speed strategy. You stay laser-focused on specific use cases, you secure simple, targeted, small wins, and then you build real operational agility outward from there.
And finally, part 5, enabling technologies. Notice how we're only just now talking about the actual tech?
Because once the strategy and culture are set, these 4 pillars become the essential enablers. This is what transitions your business from rigid, clunky legacy processes into a nimble, data-driven ecosystem. Data science is at the core, optimizing those specific customer journeys. Then you have AI and machine learning, taking all that data and moving it from just an interesting insight into actual automated action. Advanced automation drives massive, scalable efficiency right into your internal workflows. And finally, the cloud. Look, the cloud isn't just a place to store files anymore. It gives you a highly scalable infrastructure so your ecosystem can pivot instantly the moment the market shifts.
Which brings us to our final and honestly perhaps most critical question for you today. Are your strategy and execution actually connected? The source material we've been analyzing makes this really profound observation. A lot of service companies today specialize either purely in high-level strategy or purely as IT execution shops. But in today's digital economy, if your strategic vision for the customer isn't deeply, seamlessly integrated with the actual IT execution happening on the ground, your chances of failure are sky high. So take a hard look at your own organization's blueprint today. Have you truly connected the why with the how, or is your survival in the digital economy still hanging in the balance?